Hello and welcome to this video for Chapter 4 homework, sections 4.1 to 4.3. And this section of homework with the quiz will be due next week. I wanted to give you just a quick overview of how to use Statcrunch for these binomial calculations. And so you can see I'm in question 6 right now of the 12 homework questions. I'm going to go ahead and open Statcrunch. So then when Statcrunch opens, it didn't really do what I wanted it to do here. Let me go back to the class and do this just a different way. So when I click on Statcrunch to open Statcrunch and get just a blank window, then we get into the blank window, and we're able then to go back to our question, which is asking us if x is a binomial random variable, compute p of x for each of the cases below. And so underneath stat, we want to go to calculators and we want to go to binomial, because this part of chapter 4 is dealing with the binomial probabilities. When we click that binomial calculator, you'll notice it gives us a standard, which allows us to input an n value, that's our sample size, a p value, and then x is either going to be less than equal, greater than equal, less than, greater than, or equal a particular number. And when you compute, that's going to give you your probability, which is always going to be between 0 and 1. And then if you go to your between calculator, you will notice that it allows you to do probability between two numbers. And so I am going to grab our question back up here, and we see that we are calculating n equals 4, x equals 1, and p is 0.4. So n equals 4, x equals 1, p is 0.4. So x equals 1. That gives us a probability of 0.3456. So we look and it says to round to 4 decimal places, and so this should be 0.3456. Okay, so you can do all of the questions, all of the pieces of this question in the binomial calculator. Anytime it's asking you to compute p of x, you should be able, for the most part, to do your binomial calculator. So as we move on, to look at the next question in this homework set, what you're going to notice is that it gives you the same type of question, but it gives you the binomial probability table for you to use to answer those questions. And so if you notice, there are 3 different tables here. That's because we have 3 different problems, and these problems are for different sample sizes. If you have found in your class, underneath lecture notes, this commonly used tables file, which I would strongly suggest opening that up, printing that out. I know it's a lengthy file, but if you print that out, then you're going to have your binomial probabilities, which is table 2, in this document and in your textbook. You're going to have those for sample sizes in this 5, 6, 7, you can see 8, 9, and 10, 15 and 20, and then 25. So then it moves into table 3, normal curve areas, which we will use in our next homework set. So the way that we use these tables is, for example, if I am pulling up the n equals 20 table right here from this question, it's kind of nice that they put those in there for you. You're looking for x is less than 4. So n is 20. We've already pulled up that table. P is 0.5. So we're looking at this column where p is 0.5. And then the number that we're looking for is 4. And we are getting 0.006. Okay, so in that case, what you want to recognize, and what you will have seen in your lecture notes, as well as if I pull this down in the view an example just to be able to show you this. If you're looking for something like x is less than 3, you want to look at x is less than equal to 2 because the 3 is not included, and these tables are cumulative probability tables. So everything up to 3, if you read the number for 3, that includes 3. But if you back down to 2, that's going to be everything less than 3 up to 3, but not including 3, so everything less than equal to 2. And so if we just kind of look at this example, their table was less than 3 for n equals 15. So if I pull up the n equals 15 table, and we look for the 0.2 column at 2, we are getting 0.398. So there's a little bit of formula involved here in reading these tables and understanding that these tables are cumulative. If you look at each column, they are cumulative and they add as they go up until they get to a 1.0, and then we get over to 0.90, which doesn't necessarily get all the way to 1.0, but the tables are cumulative. Now, the other thing we can do with this is to go back into Statcrunch and kind of work this same example. So in the view and example, we looked at x is less than 3 for n equals 15 and p is 0.2. So we use our standard. We do x is less than 3 for n equals 15 and p is 0.2, and we're getting a 0.398 when we calculate that on this calculator. So just wanted to show you the differences between using your table, which is a bit of a more manual process, and using your calculator in Statcrunch. I would recommend using the calculator as much as possible, because it really, once you understand what's going on in the table, the calculator really saves a lot of the time. And so you can do, as you can see, the less than, you could do the greater than equal, you could do the x equals 23. And if you follow through the view and example or the lecture notes, what you will see is that there are some formulas for working each different situation. You will notice here that greater than equal to 17. So if you want everything 17 and bigger, you have to subtract off 16 and smaller, because 17 and bigger is everything not counting 16 and under, because of the way those tables are cumulative. And then if you look on to part C, and this is just a really good way to show you this, if you're finding equals 23, the probability that x is 23, you are going to do the probability that it's less than equal to 23 minus the probability that it is less than equal to 22, and that gets you just the one number, just the equals to 23 that you are looking for, because it subtracts off everything everything around that number to leave only that number. So hope this has helped just a little bit with the first section of chapter 4. And so if you have any questions, as I'm flipping through here, I'm seeing that a lot of these questions are dealing a lot with your binomial calculator. You should be able to answer all of those with your binomial. Looking for your sample size, your p-value, and then your x less than, greater than, equal to whatever number, and this number gives you your answer. So if you have any other questions as you work through the first 3 sections of chapter 4 that are due next week, please let me know. Thank you.